After 20 years of near-annual releases, it's been over 5 years since the last entry into the Tales series. Fans have been waiting eagerly for the release of Tales of Arise, Bandai Namco's most anticipated and well-marketed entry yet. In hopes of reviving what their fanbase was worried could be fading into obscurity, Bandai Namco has given this installment an art makeover designed to attract Western gamers, and have added influential modern enhancements to their action combat JRPG. The plot devices that the story uses generate so much mystery and empathy for each character that I found myself constantly drawn to firing up the next mission just to find out whether my favorite characters would show me more of themselves. Though the game falls short of excellence on a few key fronts, Tales of Arise manages to give players a stellar RPG experience that's among the best in recent memory. Conceptually, Tales of Arise features a familiar plot, a dystopia in which the rich technocrats from the planet Rena control a labor-bound society of workers on the neighboring world of Dana, a civilization seeking to rebel and overcome their feudal overlords. However, the story fails to take the plot much further outside of the formulaic concept, with most of the interesting bits being focused on individual character progression. The game features not one, but two protagonists, Alphen and Xion, who tease a potential romance throughout the story, and the cast of characters in Tales of Arise are largely archetypal molds, each with their own unique character flaws. The story fails to accomplish a great level of depth, yet still manages to get the job done and keep players focused on each individual character's storyline. Tales of Arise uses a system of graphic novel-style panels to chop up the key emotions and expressions of its characters, which results in a unique and inventive method for showcasing dialogue scenes. When this is done right, it feels deliberate, exciting, and engaging. You really feel each character's intent, and these are the moments when you as the player are leaping for joy, and when key dialogue gets the emotional expression it deserves. However, filler scenes often fail to excite the viewer, and fall flat during those moments that don't carry the weight deserving of such an inventive method of storytelling. When the story is good, it's great, but when it wasn't hitting a high note, there wasn't much of a tale at all.
What is this? His master core's going berserk!
The Tales of series is known for having fantastic gameplay in its exploration and combat systems, and Arise is no change of pace. The combat is intoxicating and momentous, rewarding players greatly for perfect blocks and giving that glorious hit of dopamine for properly iframing perfect dodges. Progressing your character feels good, and the difficulty only sent us back to the drawing board to grind out experience a couple times throughout the playthrough. Through its Tales of Grace-inspired focus on dodging, countering, and team-up abilities called Boost Strikes, the combat system has moved more towards something like Kingdom Hearts from its previous iterations, which focused more on emulating the traditional turn-based JRPG in real time. Despite the few updates to the combat system, many encounters suffer from bullet sponge syndrome, offloading a portion of the difficulty into larger health pools, which results in a lot of battles feeling repetitive and slightly monotonous, despite the enemy's cool and dynamic designs.
Stop right there! Think you can cut me down? What?
If there's one thing that's compelling about Bandai Namco's successful revisit to the Tales franchise, it's their pivot in art direction. The art style certainly feels connected to past entries. However, it clearly shows a more dedicated focus on a Western high fantasy universe with less of a penchant for bright colors and overly anime-inspired themes. The game feels less so like it's trying to hold on to its roots, but rather feels as though it's departed on a trip towards a wider audience, with the character art and graphic novel dialogue scenes serving as a nod to its past. There's no doubt that with the success of Tales of Arise, Bandai Namco's next entry will most likely appeal even more to a Western audience. Tales of Arise shows few signs of weakness on the technical side of things, with the game overall operating smoothly throughout the playthrough. While we experienced the minor hiccup of a full-on freeze whenever the microphone got unplugged from the PC, the game otherwise felt great and didn't run into glitches or any game-breaking issues. There were moments where running into an invisible wall felt out of place and kind of poorly designed, but for the most part the game ran exceptionally and the gameplay experience was smooth as butter.
Zephyr was right. We did it. We brought down the wall.
Iron Mask, your face is exposed.
Tales of Arise is a JRPG that succeeds in its mission to revitalize the franchise by amping up its combat systems and artistic style. The game fills its 60-hour playtime with enough engaging story moments to keep players on the edge of their seats throughout the entirety of the game, and had me sprinting back to the PC to experience its thrilling real-time action combat and phenomenal character progression. The new art direction and modern graphics has brought the Tales series from being a lesser-known franchise to the forefront of modern gaming. I couldn't help but feel excited about the direction that Bandai Namco appears to be taking the Tales series, and it's no surprise that among the pantheon of Tales titles, Tales of Arise is Bandai Namco's best-selling entry yet. If you're looking for a game that will take you on a vast adventure and force you to fall in love with each character as they face their internal and external trials, look no further. We gave Tales of Arise an 8 out of 10. For more gaming news, reviews, and guides, keep it IQ.
I found you at last.
And I see you came along as well, Danon Witch.
Winds of heaven, burst forth! I thought I had been doomed to a life of solitude.
That doesn't mean I'm going to stop looking out for you. Not now, not ever.
That can't be. Look out!
Right now, this thing needs dealing with. The hell? Is that a Zoogle? Everyone, be careful! That thing is huge! Tectonic fission! You'll pay! Danon Liberation and the Renaissance. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us.